मेरी आवाज आ रही है क्या? इफ एनीवन इज लाइव। हाँ सुशांत भाई, यही बात करने आ रहा हूं मैं कि ये क्या बकचोदी है भाई, क्या बकचोदी है मैन। दिस इज रिडिकुलस। दिस इज थैंक यू सुशांत भाई, ऑडिबल है, थैंक यू। दिस इज रिडिकुलस मैन। अगर इसको सैक करना था तो भाई इतनी देर तक क्यों रुके हुए थे तुम? डजंट मेक सेंस एट ऑल। भाई मुझे जरा एक बार बताओ कि ये कौन सा क्लब है, ये कौन सा निहायती बेवकूफ क्लब है कि एक हफ्ता एक हफ्ता रुका है एंड उसके बाद इन्हें अकल आई है कि भाई हमको हमको वो करना है, क्या बोलते हैं, हमको अपना मैनेजर चेंज करना है। हम तो भाई, हमको पसंद नहीं है जिसने हमको यूरोपियन ट्रॉफी जिताई है, हमको वो पसंद नहीं है, हम उसको सैक ही कर देंगे। और वो भी उन्हें पता चल रहा है ऑलमोस्ट यूरोपा लीग जीतने के 2 हफ्ते बाद। भाई साहब उसको छुट्टी पे भेज दिया है, वो चिल कर रहा है, वो ग्रीस में मजे कर रहा है, दारू पी रहा है, मेट मेट कर रहा है आजू बाजू सब जगह। और भाई उस वो आता है टॉटनहम लंदन आता है और उसको बोलते हैं भाई एक काम करो, अपना बोरिया बिस्तर बांधो और अब तुम निकल लो। हमने तुमको छुट्टी दे दी, हमको तुमको इसीलिए प्रिपेयर करना था, हम तुमको छुट्टी इसलिए दे रहे थे जिससे हम तुमको प्रिपेयर कर सके कि तुमको सैक करेंगे हम। माय गॉड मैन, दिस इज टेरिबल भाई, दिस इज क्या बोलूं मैं भाई, बॉन्कर्स। गाली वाली देने का मन कर रहा है उस टकले को, टकले बीकेएल को भाई, कि मतलब गजब भाई, गजब सी आदमी है भाई, गजब सी आदमी है यार वो। बताओ यार, तुम लोग बताओ, व्हाट डू यू गाइस थिंक? आई मीन दिस इज रिडिकुलस। हाउ, और वो भी ऐसा ऐसा भाई क्या बोलूं मैं, क्या बोलूं मैं, मेरे को नहीं समझ आ रहा। सुशांत भाई आ गए हैं, अगर किसी और को आना हो तो बताना। सुशांत भाई, यू आर ऑडिबल। बोलिए एक बार
हाँ,
टेस्ट।
यू आर ऑडिबल। यूटी, एम आई ऑडिबल?
यस यू आर ब्रो। बताओ भाई क्या
भाई मैं
फील कर रहे हो आप?
यार मैं ऑफिस के बाहर सोच में अपनी गाड़ी में बैठा हूँ और मैं ये न्यूज पढ़ रहा हूँ भाई। मैं अपने ऑफिस में लिटरली भैंचो गाड़ी। भाई क्या चल क्या रहा है ब्रो? मतलब ये चल क्या रहा है? आप एक ऐसा क्लब हो जो 17 साल बाद एक ट्रॉफी जीत रहा है, 41 ईयर्स बाद एक यूरोपियन क्लब यूरोपियन ट्रॉफी जीत रहा है, और आप उस मैनेजर को सैक कर रहे हो। मतलब ये कहाँ का सेंस है यार? मतलब आपकी मेंटालिटी है क्या? मतलब आप, मतलब मेरे को इस टाइम पे लिटरली पता है क्या लग रहा है कि ये डैनियल एक प्राइवेट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का एक ऐसा बंदा है जो चार्ट चार्ट के ऊपर पहुंच चुका है। उसने डोना कलन को सैक करा दिया, ठीक है। उसने सीईओ को, जो आर्सेनल का सीईओ है, उसको वो अपने क्लब में ले आया, ठीक है। उसने अब मैनेजर को भी सैक करा दिया। भाई तुम्हारी इतनी ही औकात थी तो तुमने मतलब रियली सॉरी, तुमने 17 साल में किया क्या यार?
मैं कह रहा हूँ डी आखिरी में मत लगाना, बेंचो बोल सकते हो। मैं ही म्यूट
यार
पे
वो
चला गया।
यूट्यूब का वो पकड़ ले। यार तुमने
अरे
किया क्या 17 साल में यार? मतलब मेरे को सिंपल से तुमने किया क्या? एक मैनेजर तुम लेके आए, तुमने उसी को निकाल दिया।
और भाई एक मैनेजर जो ट्रॉफी जिता रहा है, प्रतीक भाई आप बताओ भाई, आप तो खुश हो गए।
भाई यार भाई प्रतीक भाई तो यार, अरे यार ये गलत बंदे को ले आए
प्रतीक
तुम।
भाई खुश हो
भाई
ये
गए।
मैं
गलत बंदा आ गया भाई।
भाई
एंज
मैं
आउट
बहुत
के
भाई मैं बहुत दुखी हूँ, बहुत दुखी हूँ
भाई
भाई मैं।
दुखी तो नहीं हो भाई, तुम दुखी तो नहीं हो
दिख
प्रतीक
नहीं
भाई।
रहा भाई,
तुमने
चेहरे पे
मैंने
नहीं दिख रहा।
मैंने सुबह ही तुमसे बात की, तुमने बोला आई एम प्रो स्पर्स, मतलब मेरे को उससे फर्क पड़ता है।
हाँ भाई, देखो मतलब मैं मुझे था यार कि देखो यार अगर रुक भी जाता तब तक बुरा नहीं लगता, बट टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैं नहीं सपोर्ट कर रहा था लास्ट सीजन, तो मैंने होप छोड़ दी थी, तो आई एम नॉट फीलिंग बैड। अनयूजुअल है बट इट्स ओके।
यार अब मुझे मुझे प्रॉब्लम ये लग रही है कि उसके लिए आप 2 हफ्ते क्यों रुके? यार
भाई
आप
उसकी
एग्जैक्टली
निकाल
exactly।
वेकेशन
देते
थी
ना
यार,
उसको।
उसकी उसकी वेकेशन थी भाई, उसकी वेकेशन
अरे
पूरी
तो
हुई थी ना।
यार
वेकेशन क्या?
प्रतीक भाई, नहीं नहीं नहीं, आप मेरी एक बात सुनो, ठीक
हाँ
है।
हाँ।
यूनाइटेड का सीजन हमसे, मतलब आप ये समझो, यूनाइटेड हेरिटेज क्लब है, ठीक है। उसका
हम्म।
सीजन, अगर मैं इन मतलब पैरेलल टर्म्स में चलूं, उसका हेरिटेज के बाद हमसे ज्यादा बकवास सीजन गया है। वो साले ट्रॉफी भी हार गए, ठीक है। उसके बाद भी वो कूना और एम्बुएमओ से लिंक्ड होते हैं। कूना साइन कर गया, एम्बुएमओ ऑलमोस्ट फाइनल स्टेजेस पे है। हमारा कहाँ सीन है भाई? अगर सैक करना ही था तो ट्रॉफी के सेलिब्रेशंस के बाद सैक करते थे।
यार वो मैं मान रहा हूँ थोड़ा लेट हुआ है, बट मेरे ख्याल से वो भी डिसाइड ही कर रहे होंगे। आई एम श्योर कि इट टुक सम टाइम ये चीज डिसाइड करने में। एकदम से यार उस समय करते तो और ही बुरा होता मेरे ख्याल से। और इस वजह से साइनिंग भी नहीं आया यार, बिकॉज इनको पता था कि जो नया मैनेजर आएगा उसके हिसाब से साइनिंग आने में टाइम लगेगा।
चलो आप मेरे को
So,
प्रतीक भाई बात, एक सिंपल सी बात बताओ मेरे को। अब
हाँ हाँ
10th देखो, अब ये सैक हो रहा है, ठीक है, 10th तक तो वैसे कोई एक्शन नहीं होगा, 10th से 16th विंडो बंद है, ठीक है। चर्की से हम लिंक्ड हुए, अपना सिटी ले गया, ठीक है, एम्बुएमो से लिंक हुए, यूनाइटेड ले गया। अब यार ट्रांसफर मार्केट में हमारी पोजीशन के प्लेयर फिर बचे ही कौन है?
यार दिस विल टेक टाइम, बट यार मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि पहले एक बार मैनेजर डिसाइड जाने दो। मुझे मुझे पता नहीं क्यों मेरे दिल में ऐसा हो रहा है कि शायद से फ्रैंक नहीं है। आई होप यार,
भाई
मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है तो इंजागी आ सकता है। मुझे
इंजागी
लग
गया
रहा है
अल हिलाल,
पक्का हो गया
उसका
उसका।
हो चुका है। यस, इंजागी हैज गॉन, इट्स गॉन, ही इज गॉन टू अल हिलाल, वो अनाउंस भी हो चुका है। दैट्स द होल पॉइंट, आपके पास थॉमस फ्रैंक के अलावा और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है अभी। एंड इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि थॉमस फ्रैंक कैसा मैनेजर है, हो सकता है बहुत अच्छा करे यार, बट अभी आप ये सोचो कि व्हाट विल बी द रिपरकशन। बहुत सारे प्लेयर अब छोड़ेंगे, देयर इज नो चांस क्रिस्टियन रोमेरो स्टेज एट दिस स्टूपिड क्लब नाउ, देयर इज नो
यार
चांस, आप
बताएं,
भूल
जो
जाओ।
जो 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 यूनाइटेड की बात भी कर रहे हैं ना यार, यूनाइटेड ने सेम चीज लास्ट सीजन की थी। मतलब कि अगर तुम उस हिसाब से देखो तो ट्रॉफी के बाद वो टेन हाग को रखा उन्होंने, देखते हुए कि यूनाइटेड खराब खेली उसके बावजूद भी फिर वो मिड सीजन सेम ही चीज करनी पड़ी। तो मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि हो सकता है इस चीज से थोड़ा प्राग्मेटिकली सोचा इन्होंने
भाई
कि यार।
वो मैं बिल्कुल, मैं वही तो कह रहा हूँ, ये लास्ट टाइम जो ये यूनाइटेड वाला एग्जांपल हो गया ना, उस
हम्म
चक्कर में ही ये पैनिक सिचुएशन क्रिएट हुई है। अगर ऐसा नहीं हो, इट वाज एन एनोमली। देखो हमारे साथ हमारे सीजन में
यार
कितनी
हमारे सीजन में
इंजरीज
तो
भी
नॉर्मली
हुई है
हुआ है।
यार, हमारे हमारे इंजरीज कितनी ज्यादा हुई है, इतनी तो एरिक टेन हैग को भी सफर नहीं करनी पड़ी थी यार, पूरा
यार
का
मैं
पूरा
मैं
फर्स्ट टीम स्क्वाड
मैं
खेला
सब
हुआ है।
सब कुछ एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ भाई। अभी मैं निकल रहा हूँ, मैं जा रहा हूँ पार्टी में। थैंक यू सो मच भाई लोग।
जाओ जाओ
कॉयज,
जाओ जाओ, एंजॉय।
टेंशन नहीं।
कॉइस कॉइस कॉइस, काय का
क्वाइस
कॉइस,
क्वाइस 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 क्वाइस।
गुस्सा आ रहा है अभी तो
यार यार नहीं
बहुत।
यूटी, मैं तेरी लास्ट स्टेटमेंट से मैं बिल्कुल मतलब अग्री करता हूँ कि भाई
हम्म,
आपकी आप एक तो सबसे पहली बात, आपने एंज को डेप्थ प्रोवाइड नहीं करी, ठीक है। दूसरी बात, आपके मेन प्लेयर्स मेन पोजीशंस पे ऑलमोस्ट 2/3 सीजन के लिए इंजर्ड रहे, ठीक है। आप एक ये चीज नोटिस करो, जब एंज को फुल फुल डेप्थ स्क्वाड मिला, उस बंदे ने डिफिकल्ट अवे फिक्सचर सेमीफाइनल का आपको जिताया 2-0 से, ठीक है।
यस।
आपको होम विक्ट्री दिलाई 3-1 से। आपको जो आपकी लाइफ का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट मैच था, आपको वो जितवाया यूनाइटेड से। भाई आप कुछ भी बोल लो, आप फाइनल में जाते हो ना, आप सामने वाली टीम का स्टैचर देखते हो, आप ये नहीं देखते कि उसकी करंट क्या कहते हैं कंडीशन क्या है, क्योंकि फाइनल जो मैच होते हैं, सेमीफाइनल फाइनल बड़ी ट्रॉफीज के, वो आपका विनर टेक्स इट ऑल वाले मैच होते हैं, ठीक है। वहां पे आपकी करंट फॉर्म नहीं मैटर करती यार, क्योंकि आपका वहां पे मेंटेलिटी मैटर करती है। आपने प्लेयर्स में वो मेंटेलिटी इंस्टिल करवाई कि भाई तुम नहीं जीते हो ट्रॉफी, तुम्हें करना ही है। उस बंदे ने वो सब चीजें करवाई और तुम उसको सैक करते हो। भाई
नहीं, दिस इज
मैं अपनी लाइफ में भाई मैं लिटरली मैं यूटी में लिटरली मैं इतना अग्रेसिव कहीं पे भी नहीं होता भाई। आज मतलब दिस क्लब इज टेस्टिंग माय पेशेंस टू इट्स लिमिट्स भाई। मतलब ये सेंस क्या है यार? मैं ऑफिस में काम कर रहा हूं यार। एक बात है कि भाई तुम एक क्लब से अटैच होते हो ना, उसके बाद वो क्लब तुम्हारी जिंदगी भर साथ रहता है। भाई मैं काम कर रहा हूं, मैं साइड में नोटिफिकेशन चेक कर रहा हूं, ये न्यूज मिल रही है क्लब, मैं ऑफिस से बाहर आ रहा हूं, अभी भी गाड़ी में बैठा हूं भाई। ये लिटरली मैं घर भी नहीं पहुंचा भाई, इतना
आई
गुस्सा आ रहा
कैन
है मेरे को।
आई कैन सी योर डेडिकेशन भाई, आप बैठे हो, मुझे मुझे तभी लग रहा है दिस इज सो। भाई देखो, मैं एक्सपेक्ट ही नहीं, मतलब नो वन वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग कि वो सैक हो जाएगा यार, स्पेशली अब तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं लग रहा था मुझे। देयर वाज नो आईटी केस, या फिर वो होता है ना, कोई स्टोरी नहीं आ रही थी कि थॉमस फ्रैंक छोड़ रहा है या समथिंग लाइक दैट। हाँ, ये था कि ही इज बीइंग कंसिडर्ड, बट वही सेम चीज तो इरियोला के टाइम पे भी हुआ था, अभी कुछ टाइम पहले, जनवरी के अराउंड ही, जब इरियोला कर रहे थे बहुत सारे लोग। बट इट इज वेरी अनएक्सपेक्टेड एंड आई टोटली अग्री विथ यू। आपका जो रिएक्शन है दैट इज टोटली वैलिड। एक मैनेजर जो 17 साल बाद आपको ट्रॉफी जिताता है एंड यू थिंक कि उसको सैक करना, नॉट इवन गिविंग हिम द गुड सेकंड चांस व्हिच ही टोटली डिजर्व्स, वो करने की जगह आप उसको सैक कर दे रहे हो। आई मीन
भाई
भाई साहब,
ये तो वही केस हो गया ना कि ये तो मतलब
yes.
दिस थिंग इज आउट इन ओपन कि लेवी को। चल मैं यूटी सिंपल एक चीज बोलता हूँ, ठीक है। मैं आपको सिंपल, आप एक न्यूट्रल हो, ठीक है, आप एक न्यूट्रल हो, ठीक है, यू फॉलो फुटबॉल, ठीक है। आपको पता है कि एक ऐसा क्लब इंग्लैंड के अंदर जो कि इतना बैंटर होता है कि 17 साल बाद एक ट्रॉफी जीतता है, एज अ न्यूट्रल को भी लगेगा कि भाई जिस मैनेजर ने ट्रॉफी जीता ये साले को एक और सीजन दो। तुम उसको सैक कर रहे हो, तुम्हें तुम्हें मतलब क्या है? तुम्हें क्लब से मतलब है या अपने प्रॉफिट से मतलब है? और फक प्रॉफिट्स भाई, उसने तुम्हें चैंपियंस लीग का स्पॉट दिलाया है, तुम्हारे पास कैश इनफ्लो आया है भाई, तुम चाह क्या रहे हो?
दिस इज रिडिकुलस भाई, दिस इज मतलब ये इससे पता चलता है कि पैसा इज अबव ऑल। पर एक चीज मैं आपको दिखाना चाहता हूँ, पैसा भी मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा भाई कि पैसा, ये देखो, रुको एक सेकंड मैं स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ, आप ये देखो। साला अगर इसको पैसे की भी पड़ी थी तो भी मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा। ये देखो एक्सक्लूसिव क्या लिखा है, सैकिंग एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू वुड कॉस्ट, दिख रहा है ना स्क्रीन पे, दिख रहा है ना, हाँ, would cost Tottenham Hotspur in the region of 4 million euros. That is as well as the 2 million bonus he earned for winning the Europa League. मैंने कहा अबे भाई तुम पैसे भी नहीं बचा रहे हो भाई, तुम्हारे पैसे भी जा रहे हैं। How does this make any sense even financially?
यूटी
Emotionally तो भूल
यूटी
ही जाओ।
मैं आपका प्लेटफॉर्म लेके, आप इसका चाहे शॉर्ट बनाओ चाहे इसका ट्विटर पे डालो, मैं आपका प्लेटफॉर्म लेके एक चीज बोलना चाहता हूं टू ऑल दोज पीपल हु हैव बीन फॉलोइंग फुटबॉल, हु आर लुकिंग टू सपोर्ट अ क्लब, हु लुक एट द अपॉर्चुनिटी टू सपोर्ट अ क्लब। मैं एक चीज ये बोलना चाहता हूं, गाइज, डू नॉट सपोर्ट टॉटनहम हॉटस्पर till the time Levy is at the helm of affairs. You will be in for massive level of disappointment. Do not support Tottenham. जाके प्लास्टिक फैंस बन जाओ भाई, फर्क नहीं पड़ता। 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल बाद जाके तो तुम्हें रियलाइज होगा ना कि हाँ ठीक है, मेरे को फायदा मिल रहा है क्लब सपोर्ट करने का। ये
ग्लोरी
क्या
हंटर
सेंस है
बन
यार? मत आओ भाई टॉटनहम हॉटस्पर में, बिल्कुल मत आओ। क्या सेंस है इस चीज का यार? भाई तुम मेरे को सिंपल सी एक बात बताओ कि अगर एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू इस कमिंग सीजन में, जो नया सीजन स्टार्ट होगा अगस्त सितंबर से, उसके अंदर अगर वो दिसंबर तक मिड टेबल फिनिश करता, निकालो, बिल्कुल निकालो, बट उसको एक चांस तो देते यार। अब
सही बात।
नया मैनेजर आता है, ठीक है, उसकी डिमांड अलग होती है, तुम उसकी डिमांड के थर्ड चॉइस फोर्थ चॉइस प्लेयर लाते हो, क्योंकि फर्स्ट चॉइस सेकंड चॉइस तुम्हें लाना नहीं है। तुम्हें बियोंसे होस्ट करनी है स्टेडियम में, तुम्हें अरिजीत सिंह लाना है स्टेडियम में, तुम्हें कान्ये वेस्ट लाना है, तुम्हें भैंचो किम करदर्शन लानी है अपने स्टेडियम में, ठीक है, उसका 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 प्रॉफिट तुम्हें अपनी जेब में डालना है, ठीक है, क्योंकि फैंस तो चूतिए हैं, वो तो भैंचो फिर भी ट्रॉफी के ब्रो, रियलाइज दिस थिंग, 12.5 से 15 हजार की एक जर्सी जिसको तुम यूरोपियन विनर्स के नाम पे बेच रहे हो, फैंस वो ले भी रहे हैं। रियलाइज द काइंड, ब्रो, लेवी इज एन एक्सीलेंट बिजनेसमैन, उसको पता है लोगों को कहां बेवकूफ बनाना है, वो बना रहा है, पैसे ले रहा है। व्हाई डिड डोना कलन रिजाइन मैन? इट शुड हैव बीन लेवी इन प्लेस ऑफ हर। दिस इज रिडिकुलस।
यस इट इज, इट इज। एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं कि ये क्लब का स्टेटमेंट क्या है। लेट मी जस्ट ऐड इट टू द स्टेज एंड विल सी। फॉलोइंग अ रिव्यू ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस, दिख रहा है ना स्क्रीन पे, हाँ। Following a review of performance and after significant reflection, the club can now announce that Ange Postecoglu has been relieved of his duties. माँ की आंख, ये सब जानने का मुझे कोई जरूरत नहीं है। We are extremely...
I'll
हाँ,
have to leave. I'll join
no worries.
in another 20 minutes if you are
कोई नहीं,
live
कोई
by
नहीं।
then.
आप जाओ, आप घर पहुंचो पहले, दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट।
Sure.
थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग ब्रो, थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। हाँ जी, अरे भाई साहब, we are extremely grateful to Ange for his commitment and contribution. Ghanta during his 2 years at the club. Ghanta. Ange will always be remembered as the only third manager in our history to deliver a European trophy. भाई साहब, ये पढ़ रहे हो तुम? थर्ड मैनेजर भाई, तीसरा मैनेजर है बस, और उसके साथ इस तरीके का बर्ताव हुआ है, सुलूक हुआ है। However, the board has unanimously concluded that it's in the best interest of the club for a change to take place. Following a positive start in this season, the culminating in our worst ever Premier League finish last season, at times there were extenuating circumstances. We're able to compete on multiple front and believe a change of approach will give us the strongest chance for the coming season and beyond. This has been one of the toughest decisions that we have had to make, and is not a decision that we have taken lightly, nor one we have rushed to conclude. We have made what we believe in the right decision to give us best chance of success going forward, not the easy decision. My God. माय गॉड गाइस, बताओ भाई क्या है ये है क्या भाई? व्हाट द हेल इज दिस? मुझे मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा भाई। this doesn't make sense. I know हमारा हमारा फैन बेस was very divided on the fact कि भाई किस पर्टिकुलर प्लेयर को आना चाहिए, सॉरी किस पर्टिकुलर इस मैनेजर को रखना चाहिए या नहीं रखना चाहिए. We were totally divided. There were many fans who were saying कि भाई इसको मत रखो, इसको निकाल दो एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू को. There were many fans who were saying नहीं रखो, he can do something. But after Europa League victory, मैंने ये देखा था that the fans in a way started getting together कि हाँ भाई इसको एक मौका दिया जा सकता है. That is true. Let him get his chance. At least he deserves that. एरिक टेन हैग ने काराबाओ कप जिताया था भाई. It was a domestic cup. एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू ने यूरोपा लीग जिताया. That is a European trophy. I think it has far better, what should I say, far better, मतलब पब्लिसिटी उसकी ज्यादा है या फिर पॉपुलर ज्यादा है या फिर मुश्किल ज्यादा है एज कंपेयर टू काराबाओ कप. आई मीन this decision after 2 weeks, after 2 to 3 weeks, when we have already won the Europa League, doesn't make sense. And पता है this is a domino effect now. This is a big domino effect in this club. एक बंदा, अब देखो पहले तो सारे राइवल क्लब खुल जाएंगे आज, ठीक है. आज के बाद देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ बैंटर अगेन. बहुत टाइम, बहुत मुश्किल से टॉटनहम के ऊपर बैंटर बंद हुआ था बिकॉज वी हैव फाइनली वॉन द ट्रॉफी. वी हैड अ कोच हु हैड द विनिंग मेंटालिटी. हमारी स्क्वाड अच्छी थी, एवरीथिंग. सो वी वर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द बैंटर, बट रेस्ट इन पीस बैंटरलेस क्लब फॉर आई थिंक जस्ट 2-3 वीक्स. अब क्या होगा यार? ये क्या डिसीजन ले लिया भाई? मुझे नहीं पता भाई. हाइब्रिड, दिस इज एफ ऑल भाई. दिस इज एफ ऑल डिसीजन एंड आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू विद दिस पर्टिकुलर डिसीजन. मतलब अब देखना बैंटर कितना शुरू होगा. राइवल क्लब्स विल बी लाइक कि जो पर्टिकुलर मैनेजर तुम कुछ ट्रॉफी जीता था तुम उसको सैक कर देते हो. वाह क्या क्लब है तुम्हारा. एंड वी डिजर्व दैट ट्रोल. अब होंगे ट्रोल और होना भी चाहिए भाई. अब वो सी फैंस खुश होंगे बस. हाँ भाई होंगे, हैं कुछ फैंस जो विच इज दे आर लाइक कि अरे यार ये तो बड़ा अच्छा हो गया यार, ये तो सही हो गया, अब हमें थॉमस फ्रैंक मिलेगा. भाई थॉमस फ्रैंक ने ऐसा क्या किया है जो तुम बावले हो रहे हो? थॉमस फ्रैंक को पता भी है ट्रॉफी कैसे जीतती है. भाई साहब उस बंदे ने बस चैंपियनशिप तक प्रमोट कराया ब्रेंटफोर्ड को. नो डाउट ही इज अ गुड मैनेजर बट ही डजंट हैव एनी विनिंग मेंटालिटी. अब 17 साल तक ड्रॉट था, फिर ट्रॉफी आई, अब फिर 17 साल का ड्रॉट होने वाला है और कोई ट्रॉफी नहीं आएगी क्योंकि हम मैनेजर ऐसा लाने वाले हैं जिसको आता ही नहीं है ट्रॉफी जीतना. वो मेंटालिटी इंस्टिल नहीं होने वाली है. 20-25 साल के लौंडे लेके आ जाते हैं हम हर बार ये सोच के कि भाई ये हमारे लिए अच्छा करेंगे, पर भाई उन्हें एक्सपीरियंस कहाँ है बड़े लेवल पे खेलने का. वी आर नेक्स्ट लेवल बोरुसिया डॉर्टमंड गाइस. और बोरुसिया डॉर्टमंड भी एक टाइम पे तो फाइनल तक पहुंची है चैंपियंस लीग के. पर हम लोगों ने अपना जो मॉडल है ना डॉर्टमंड वाला बना दिया. पैसे मतलब यंग प्लेयर खरीदो, उनको अच्छे पैसे में बाकी बड़े क्लब्स को बेचो. ये है मॉडल अभी अपना. इंजागी भी नहीं आ रहा, वो आता तो कह देते कि अपग्रेड. हाँ भाई इंजागी आता तो कह सकते थे, पर इंजागी तो अल हिलाल जा चुका है. देयर इज नो वे ही इज कमिंग. Big Ange, my club disrespected you. You should have left us by yourself. Yep, I agree. No one, I repeat, no one deserves to be managing this club when they have such a shitty, what should I say, management. And मुझे पता है, मैं एक और बात बोलूंगा. I think ये बहुत ही बड़ा वो लगेगा कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी स्टेटमेंट, बट मुझे ये लगता है Fabio Paratici is highly involved in this particular decision. ठीक है. एंड आई डोंट एग्री विद पैराटिची क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि पैराटिची बिल्कुल अगेंस्ट था एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू के अपॉइंटमेंट के. ही डिडंट लाइक हिम. ठीक है. एंड क्योंकि ये लोग पैराटिची को वापस लेके आए और लीवी पैराटिची की चाटता है बहुत अच्छे से. ठीक है. मतलब समझ लो तुम जो भी है. तो इसी चक्कर में इन लोगों का डिस्कशन हुआ है एंड दे हैव डिसाइडेड टू सैक एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू बिकॉज एंज गोज अगेंस्ट द आइडिया ऑफ बोथ दीज टू पीपल. और इट्स अ बिग स्टेप भाई. तुमने अपने ऊपर बहुत गंदा प्रेशर बनाया अभी. ठीक है. Daniel Levy and Tottenham Hotspur management has created a humongous pressure on themselves. ठीक है, वो कभी भी फट सकता है, बहुत सारे फैंस के प्रोटेस्ट भी होंगे, बहुत सारे लोग इस डिसीजन के अगेंस्ट होंगे, एंड इट टोटली डिजर्व्स इट, दे टोटली डिजर्व इट। मुझे तो लगता है डेनियल लीवी को भी चले जाना चाहिए। अगर डेनियल लीवी जा रहा है ना और एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू तब गया, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, चले जाए। एंज को निकाल दिया, ठीक है, मतलब वो खुंदस में निकाल लिया होगी, लीवी सोच रहा होगा मुझे तो निकाला ही जा रहा है, मैं एक को सैक करके जाऊंगा, तो तू निकल जा। अगर लीवी जा रहा है और तब एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू गया, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, क्योंकि जो अपना कोर न्यूक्लियस है ना, वो सड़ा हुआ है, वो रॉटन है। दैट पर्सन इज डेनियल एफिंग लीवी, टकला बाल्डी, who is sitting there and doing fuck all. Now Romero will leave and I will not be shocked जब next season Van de Ven हमें लिवरपूल जैसे क्लब्स के लिए छोड़ दे। Yes, I am totally sure about it. रोमेरो तो जा ही रहा है, रोमेरो जा रहा है, बेंटेंकूर चला जाएगा, बिसुमा के पप्पा जी जा चुके हैं, तो बिसुमा भी जा ही रहा है, उसको तो चलो गुड रिडेंस हो जाएगा मेरे लिए, तो बिसुमा जाएगा, ठीक है। सोनी नहीं रहेगा, सोनी विल गो टू मतलब सऊदी चला जाएगा, पैसे कमाएगा, क्योंकि उसे भी पता है कि अब यहाँ पे कुछ बचा नहीं है, फिर से बिल्डअप होने वाला है सब कुछ। देयर विल बी अ बिग ट्रांजिशन अगेन, जो कि हम हर 2 साल में कर रहे होते हैं। यूनाइटेड पहली बार कर रही है, हम लोग 5 साल, हर 2 साल में एनुअल है हमारा, एनुअल ट्रांजिशन पीरियड, ठीक है। हर 2 साल के बाद हम ट्रांजिशन करते हैं फ्रॉम वन मैनेजर टू न्यू मैनेजर, दिस इज हाउ वी डू। सॉन भी जाएगा, वही मैं कह रहा हूं भाई, सॉन भी जाएगा, सॉन को पैसे चाहिए भाई, क्यों रहेगा वो, व्हाई विल ही स्टे? दिस इज क्या बोलूं मैं यार, आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड भाई। जेमी कैरेगर की बात को इतना सीरियस ले लेगा डेनियल लिवी, मुझे नहीं पता था। अच्छा खासा मैं अपने डोमिनोज के पिज्जा खाने वाला था, ये ऐसी न्यूज आ गई कि भाई मेरे को लाइव आना पड़ गया, बिकॉज मेरा तो दिमाग ही चकरा गया भाई। ये क्या डिसीजन है भाई, ये क्या डिसीजन है भाई? अब बस होप कर सकते हैं हाइब्रिड, अब बस होप कर सकते हैं। आई होप कि ये हो जाए, आई होप वो हो जाए, किसी तरीके से हमारी बात मन जाए, कोई अच्छा मैनेजर आ जाए। किसको ला रहे हो तुम? अब मिड टेबल क्लब बनकर, एग्जैक्टली तुम चैंपियंस लीग में गलती से चले गए इस सीजन, ठीक है, आओ यूरोपा लीग जीत के, अब देखो तुम्हारी क्या हालत होगी। मल्टीपल फ्रंट्स पे लड़ना है ना, क्लब स्टेटमेंट में यही कहा है ना, वी शुड बी, it is crucial that we are able to compete on multiple fronts and believe a change of approach will give us the strongest chance। भाई साहब देखता हूं तुम्हारे मल्टीपल फ्रंट का क्या उखड़ता है। एंड क्या बोलूं मैं, ये देखो, मैं वही कह रहा हूं कि ट्विटर पे बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं who will be very happy, we did the right thing in the end, I am not too angry about the decision if I am being completely honest। बाकी यहाँ किसको अनफॉलो करो, गजब आदमी है, मतलब ये इसको कैसे सेंस बना रहा है भाई तू, इसको कैसे सेंस बना रहा है? ये बंदा था भाई, देखो जैको कैट्स, ये रहा, क्या लिखा है इसने, देखो, we did the right thing in the end, I'm not too angry about the decision if I am being completely honest। अभी मैंने इसको अनफॉलो किया है भाई इस आदमी को, ये क्या बताएंगे भाई? क्लासी स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम एंज, आई थिंक क्या आ रहा है? When I reflect on my time as manager of Tottenham, my overriding emotion is one of pride। अरे यार, we are forever connected। क्लासी स्टेटमेंट फ्रॉम एंज, क्या है भाई, ये क्या सीन है? क्या सीन है भाई, मुझे नहीं समझ आ रहा। हाँ वही मैं कह रहा हूँ भाई, ये सी फैंस है, दीज आर सी फैंस, यू कांट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट। दीज आर द पीपल हु विल मेक यू फील कि भाई मैं क्यों इस पर्टिकुलर क्लब को सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ। एक भी पर्टिकुलर डिसीजन ऐसा नहीं है जिसपे सब लोग एक यूनिशन में बोले कि नहीं भाई ये गलत है। कोई ना कोई आ जाएगा हराम का जना जो बोलेगा कि अरे यार ये तो अच्छा ही डिसीजन था, दिस वाज द राइट थिंग टू डू। भाई कहां से तुमको राइट दिख रहा है ये? Please explain it to me. How is this decision a right decision? Sacking a manager who has the winning mentality. I know there were many losses. हमारा worst Premier League record रहा है, but तुम देखो तो कि क्यों रहा है। तुमने स्क्वाड बनवा के नहीं दिया, जो प्लेयर्स को पूछे गया था तुमने उनका सेकंड हैंड थर्ड हैंड मॉडल पकड़ा दिया है, ठीक है। उसके बाद तुम ये एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हो कि वो बंदा लीग में भी अच्छा करे, डोमेस्टिक कॉम्पिटिशन में भी अच्छा करे और यूरोप में भी अच्छा करे। मतलब क्या है भाई। और जब इंजरीज हो गई, तुमने जनवरी में देखा था कितना लेड बैक एटीट्यूड था हमारे मैनेजमेंट का। डेंसो पहले किंस्की आ जाता है पहले हफ्ते में, वेरी गुड, ठीक है, बहुत जल्दी आपने रिएक्ट किया। डेंसो जो सेकंड साइनिंग है हमारी जनवरी की, वो लास्ट वीक ऑफ जनवरी में आती है। उसके बीच में पूरा जनवरी डिरेल कर चुके हो, मतलब इतने मैचेस हुए, इतना खराब खेले। दे न्यू आर्ची ग्रे और वो ड्रैगुसिन खेल रहे हैं एज अ सेंटर बैक पेयरिंग, हाउ विल वी डू गुड। तब आपने क्यों नहीं साइनिंग की, तब इतनी ज्यादा प्रॉम्प्टली आपने रिएक्ट क्यों नहीं किया। गिव, यू शुड हैव बोस्टर योर साइनिंग्स। आपको लेके आना चाहिए था, बेटर प्लेयर्स लेके आने थी, उस टाइम पे लेके आने चाहिए थे, पर नहीं लेकर आए। सीधा लास्ट वीक ऑफ जनवरी में केविन डेंसो आया है और एक द वेरी लास्ट डे मथीस टेल है। इतने ज्यादा तो हम लोग प्रोएक्टिव है ट्रांसफर मार्केट में कि भाई साहब हम लोग ट्रांसफर साइनिंग करेंगे पर एकदम आखिरी में जाके करेंगे। अभी जून स्टार्ट हो चुका है, लिवरपूल, मैन सिटी, आर्सेनल, चेल्सी, सारे जो बड़े क्लब्स है ना भाई, रियल मैड्रिड, बार्सिलोना को तो साइड कर दो, ठीक है, मैं तो वो तो अलग ही लेवल पे चले गए। टॉटनहम शुडंट बी इवन कंपेयर टू दोस बिग क्लब्स, ठीक है, पर ये चार जो आपके प्रीमियर लीग राइवल्स है, इन लोगों ने ऑलरेडी साइनिंग कर दी है। इनमें से सिर्फ चेल्सी एंड मैन सिटी आर प्लेइंग इन द क्लब वर्ल्ड कप, ठीक है। आपके पास क्या एक्सक्यूज है। आपका टारगेट रायन चरकी जा चुका है मैन सिटी, ठीक है। आपके जितने भी, आपने जितनों को भी टारगेट बनाया था, दे हैव ऑलरेडी बीन सोल्ड टू अ डिफरेंट क्लब। व्हाट द हेल यू आर डूइंग, यू आर डिसाइडिंग कि भाई हमारा अगला मैनेजर कौन होगा, यही डिसाइड कर रहे हैं अभी हम। जून, अभी क्या है भाई, 6 जून चल रहा है, ठीक है। अब देखना अगले 2 हफ्ते तक कोई साइनिंग नहीं होने वाली, इट विल बी नल। 2 हफ्ते बाद होगा एक मैनेजर का अपॉइंटमेंट, ठीक है, मस्त उसके इंटरव्यूज आएंगे टॉटनहम के पेज पे एकदम, आई विल टेक दिस क्लब टू अनदर लेवल। वो अनदर लेवल ऊपर नहीं है, नीचे है भाई, ठीक है, पहले बता दूं मैं, जस्ट टू क्लियर इट वेरी, मेकिंग इट वेरी क्लियर, वो लेवल ऊपर नहीं नीचे है भाई, ठीक है। आपके जितने भी ट्रांसफर टारगेट थे, जो कि इतने सारे आईटी केस ने रिपोर्ट किए ट्विटर पे, सब तब तक जा चुके होंगे। आपके पास बचेंगे क्या, सेकंड ऑप्शन, थर्ड हैंड ऑप्शन, जो मतलब जैसे तैसे अपने क्लब में किसी तरीके से खेल रहे होंगे, उनको हम एक सेकंड लीज ऑफ लाइफ दे देंगे। बिकॉज क्यों, क्योंकि टॉटनहम यही करती है, टॉटनहम का यही नेचर है। अब देखो मथीस टेल भी नहीं आएगा, लिख के ले लो तो। दे डिडंट इवन बैक एज दिस सीजन, सबके सब यंग प्लेयर साइन करें, टिपिकल। यस आई एग्री। चरकी, एम्बुएमो, कार्डोसो, गेम्स, 4 प्लेयर तो रिजेक्ट कर चुके हैं। वही मैं कह रहा हूं भाई, अभी 4 नहीं, अभी तो अपनी टीम से भाई, देखो ये तो बाहर के प्लेयर्स हैं, मैं तो आपको ये बता रहा हूं कि अपने अंदर के प्लेयर्स भी रिजेक्ट करने वाले हैं इस क्लब को। वो बोलेंगे हमको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं साइन करना है, हमको यहां से निकलना है, हमको बेचो, हमको बेचो, हमको ट्रॉफी जीतनी है, हम पागल नहीं है, हमको खून लग चुका है, ठीक है, हमको पता है ट्रॉफी जीतने की फीलिंग कैसी है। अब हम बिना ट्रॉफी जीते हुए या उसके लिए कंपीट किए बना नहीं रह सकते, और टॉटनहम में रहोगे तो मेंटालिटी है ही नहीं ट्रॉफी जीतने की। एक गलती से इट वाज अ फ्लूक, ठीक है। अब तो मुझे ये लग रहा है कि साला जीती ही क्यों, इससे बेटर होता कि हार जाते। एटलीस्ट एंज के सैक होने का बुरा नहीं लगता। सॉन, बेंटेगो, रोमेरो, बिसुमा तो कंफर्म्ड है जो जाएंगे। हाँ भाई कंफर्म्ड है, पूरा अच्छे से कंफर्म है। मेरे को तो ये भी कंफर्म है कि वैंडरवेन भी जा सकता है भाई। लो आपने लिख ही दिया, वैंडरवेन भी नेक्स्ट सीजन छोड़ देगा अगर ये वाला खराब हुआ तो। भाई वो छोड़ देगा। मेडिसन, मेडिसन विल लीव, ठीक है। बर्गवाल सोच रहा होगा भाई कि उसने क्यों कर लिया कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्सटेंशन, भाई 2030 तक वो फंस गया है गंदा वाला, अब तो वो कुछ कर भी नहीं पाएगा। लूका बर्गवाल रहेगा, डेजान कुलुसेव्स्की भी जा सकता है, क्यों नहीं जाएगा। कुल्लू जैसा प्लेयर ऐसी टीम में, ऐसे क्लब में क्यों रहेगा जहां पे जीतने के लिए रिवॉर्ड नहीं किया जाता है, जीतने के लिए सैक किया जाता है। यहाँ ये ऐसा क्लब है, ठीक है, यहाँ जीतने का मतलब है सैक हो जाना। तुम जीतोगे, निकल, पहली फुर्सत में निकल, ठीक है, तुम हारोगे तो भी निकल, दोनों तरफ से सेम ही सीन है। अक्षय भूषण भाई आ रहे गाइस, बट इफ द मूवमेंट फर्स्ट फ्यू गेम्स अगर हार जाता इट वुड हैव गॉटन टॉक्सिक। भाई अक्षय भाई देखो मुझे पता है ये बात, ठीक है, इट वुड हैव गॉटन टॉक्सिक, बट आपको नहीं लगता दैट ही डिजर्व्ड दैट वन चांस। उसने जो चीज की है हमारे लिए, देखो भाई मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड ना हर सीजन फिनाले में जा रही थी, हर सीजन कोई ना कोई ट्रॉफी जीत रही थी। तो मुझे ना समझ आता है, मुझे उनका समझ आता है रिस्पॉन्स की उन्होंने वो टेन हैग को बीच सीजन में निकाल दिया बिकॉज देयर लेवल्स ड्रॉप्ड सिग्निफिकेंटली एंड दे हैव ड्रॉप्ड। बट टॉटनहम हॉटस्पर जो 17 साल से ट्रॉफी नहीं जीती है, अगर आपको एक मैनेजर ट्रॉफी जिताता है, दिस इज हाउ यू रीपे दिस पर्टिकुलर फेथ। उसको आपने साइनिंग नहीं दी, उसको आपने कुछ भी नहीं दिया, ठीक है, तब भी उसने आपको जिता के दिया है, ठीक है। डजंट ही डिजर्व एटलीस्ट एन आयोटा ऑफ फेथ कि हाँ भाई चलो नेक्स्ट सीजन इसको देते हैं। स्टार्टिंग में भाड़ में जाए, जो हुआ बीत गई बात गई, उसने ट्रॉफी लाके दे दिया हमें सीजन में, हमारा सीजन सक्सेसफुल हो गया, ठीक है। एवरीवन इज कंसिडरिंग दैट, तो भाई दे दो मौका, दे दोगे क्या चला जाएगा। लास्ट में 10 मैच बाद फिर सैक हो जाता, ट्रांजिशन तो होना ही है भाई, अभी भी होगा। अब तो बहुत गंदा होगा। अब प्रॉब्लम क्या है, लेकिन अब प्लेयर्स भी सारे भागेंगे, ठीक है। एक चीज में मैं अग्री कर सकता हूं कि ये इन्होंने पहले कर दिया है, तो अब आपको पता चल जाएगा कि आपके घर में कितने घर का बेदी लंका ढाए बैठे हुए, ठीक है। रोमेरो वेट कर रहा था कि भाई एक बार डिसीजन आ जाए मैं निकल जाऊं, ऐसे ही 7-8 प्लेयर तो जाने कहीं से नहीं रहे, जाएंगे। Not being a Levy apologist, but damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Why are we assuming that Ange had it all figured out just because of you? भाई मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ भाई, मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि Ange has it all figured out. I am just saying that whatever he did with such an injury ravaged squad, he deserved a chance to prove himself at the Premier League. That's all I'm saying. ठीक है। मिकेल अटेटा ने ट्रॉफी जिताई थी अपने ना पहले सीजन में, एफए कप, उसी का भुगतान कर रहा है वो। पहले 2-3 सीजन तो बकवासी किया था, अब आप ये भी बोलोगे कि वो 8 था, हम लोग 17 है, बट यार देयर आर मेनी डिफरेंट फैक्टर्स कमिंग इनटू प्ले। आप समझो, आर्सेनल के पास हमेशा ट्रांसफर पॉकेट में पैसे रहते हैं, टॉटनहम के पास नहीं रहते हैं। देयर हैज बीन टाइम जब हमने एक पूरे विंडो में कुछ साइनिंग ही नहीं की थी। All I'm saying is I'm not saying कि Ange को रखना, Ange was a very good manager, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that tactically he's very rigid। उसको कभी कभार उसके substitution has been so piss poor, मतलब बहुत ही खराब रहे हैं, ठीक है। And I have been so angry with him sometimes during the course of this season, मैं बता भी नहीं सकता हूँ। But for what he did for our club, for what he helped us achieve with our club, he deserved one chance. Bro, why can't Ange would have figured, tell us। जो लोग ये बोल रहे हैं कि रूपा जीतेंगे, रूफरी छोटी नहीं है। Now we need Levy to back whoever new comes, else it will be the same. It is the same rotten shit, Akshay bhai. Nothing is changing. It is the same rotten shit. We are not getting anything here. ठीक है। लीवी भाई साहब अब मजे करेंगे। उनको एक पपेट चाहिए था। एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू ट्रॉफी जीत के अब उसका पपेट नहीं रहा था। अब एंज पोस्टेकोग्लू डिमांड करता, ठीक है, और उसने सोचा कि अगर ये डिमांड करेगा अब इसको मुझे निकालना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, तो अब भाई उसको निकाल दिया है। वही हुआ है। इतना बड़ा डायलॉग, एक तो मुझे भाई साहब परेड में डायलॉग जो उसने दिया कि सीजन 3 इज बेटर देन सीजन 2, और उसने खुद ये बात बोली भी है ब्राइटन के प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में कि सीजन 3 के स्टार्ट होने से पहले ही मेन कैरेक्टर को मार दिया गया। एंड दैट हैज, ये तो सच हो गया भाई, सच हो गया भाई। ये फ्रैंकफर्ट को उनके घर पे इस सीजन बस एक टीम ने हराया है, दैट इज नॉट बायर्न, नॉट डॉर्टमुंड, नॉट लेवरक्यूजन, इट वाज टॉटनहम हॉटस्पर। बट अब वी फैंस हैव टू बैक द न्यू गाय इफ इट इज थॉमस। यार देखो बैक तो कर लेंगे अक्षय भाई, मैं वही तो कह रहा हूँ, बैक तो हम कर ही लेंगे, बट क्या फायदा बैक करने का। मैं बार बार यही तो कह रहा हूँ, इफ आई एम बैकिंग समवन, इफ आई एम बैकिंग अ मैनेजर, how the hell will it go away from my mind that this manager will get sacked the second he makes Levy do the work, he makes Levy do the signing, he pressured Tottenham management कि तुम मेरी वाली साइनिंग लेके आओ, अपनी वाली साइनिंग मत लेके आओ, ठीक है। that is my concern। I can see Kevin, do you have the camera on, या आप ऐसे ही बात करोगे? I don't know।
No, I don't have my cam on yet. I will be turning it on in a minute. Yeah, thanks for letting me on the stream, man. Thank you so much for letting me on the stream. I'll be having my camera on in a minute. just to have a chat. This is obviously very sad news at the moment, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about the situation? What do you think?
Yeah, I've been saying it all along. It's ridiculous. I've been saying
Uh,
all along. This is not something that I believe to be happening as of now. Uh,
mm,
you have taken 3 to 4 weeks just to confirm that Ange is going to be sacked. He was on holiday. You were waiting for him to come. If he is not going to be at the helm, why are you waiting to give him this much respect when you know that you have a summer transfer window that you need to work with? You have a window where you have to work with a new manager. If the management already knew about it, why were you waiting for him to come from holiday and then sack him? If he's gone, then let him be gone. No, why are you waiting for that guy? I just don't understand this whole chronology, how this particular thing has shaped up, has evolved up. I don't know if it has happened in the last few days or it was already planned since before even the season ended. I just don't understand. I find it very bonkers. uh, you share your thoughts on that.
yeah. For me, I'm gonna be frank with you. For me, I feel like the decision to sack, uh, from my own perspective, from my own thinking, my way of understanding the situation. Uh, I think it was before the last international break. I don't remember which game it was. I think around that time, there were rumors coming out that Ange is gonna get sacked at the end of the season. That was before we
Mhm.
even made it to the European final.
Yep, yep.
The decision to sack Ange was made a long time ago. That's what something that I believe that the Tottenham Hotspur hierarchy has made a long time ago.
Mhm.
But the execution of it is what's important. You know, my thinking, even if we won the European final, I was thinking sack the manager at the end of the season, regardless of what happens, because finishing 17th in the league is not a good indicator of the future of the club should the manager stay on.
Mhm.
And sack him as soon as possible, but also appoint a manager as soon as possible in order for the manager to identify the kind of players that he wants to bring into the squad and then build into the next season. That's what I think about that whole situation. For me, it was from my train of thought, I think this is somewhat perfectly timed because the season just ended. Sack him now. The player know that the manager is gone.
Mhm.
Appoint the manager as soon as possible. Identify what kind of players he can purchase in the transfer market, given the fact that it's already open. Give him this transfer window. Give him the preseason that he needs, and then go into the season and then see what happens from there. I don't know what was your assessment of the situation?
Yeah, see, I totally, I'm able to recall that moment that you said that it was Iriola at that point of time that was being mentioned, the name that was being thrown around as the next Tottenham manager
Yeah.
because uh, the international break just came up and we lost again just before the international break. So I remember that discussion. I
Mm,
just didn't see. It's not like I have already said that in the live stream that
mm,
Ange as a tactician, he's very rigid, right? There
mm,
has been many times when his substitution has been
mm,
piss poor. It
mhm,
has not even worked, and I have been made angry a lot of time during this course of season. What
mm,
I am not liking, or maybe I am reactionary because most of the
mm,
fan bases are, but because I have not seen my club winning a trophy for a very
mhm.
long time. We all have done that, right? We
Exactly.
so
Exactly. Yeah.
when we have won it, and I've won it with a season which is so turbulent.
Mm,
Our players just falling down with injuries. Our hospital is like houseful for most of the time. Usually, is a cinema hall are houseful. Our hospitals are houseful. We don't have medical staff on LinkedIn. They are posting. We need a medical coach. We need a medical doctors. That's my whole point. Is that if your management is being so piss poor,
mm,
the only one that we see as a response to getting sacked or as a response that he is being relieved of his duties is
mm,
the manager, right?
mm,
So for me, I have sympathy for Ange Postecoglu because He shouldn't be treated like a fodder to be thrown around, right? He was going on a holiday. He should have gone on a holiday thinking, I have the job. When I'll come back, I'll rejuvenate and start working on the plans for the next season. Or if he's going out, I'm going on a holiday, then I will think about what my next move should be. It shouldn't be like this that after him coming to Tottenham or London again, he is being told to, yeah, just go away and don't come again. I didn't like the way it has been, it has transpired basically. How they have gone through the things, I just didn't like it. I understand what you are also trying to say as a what should I say, as a club, they had the responsibility, they have taken some time to let the wind die down a little. By that I mean, the reactions, the euphoria of winning a trophy. They have taken decision when the dust has settled down. I understand that. But in my opinion, if you had a decision, if you had a decision that you could have made, you should have made it earlier. You should have brought a manager who should be in charge as we speak right now. It's 6th of June. And Kevin, you also know that in Tottenham, things don't happen very quickly.
Exactly.
Things takes a lot of time, right? And if we have sacked our manager right now, I don't know whether they have the list, whether they are sure that this is the guy we want, because Brentford won't make it easy for us to bring Thomas Frank. We don't have already an arrangement or agreement with him. If that would have been the case, just like Ruben Amorim, they had to pay some kind of what should I say, salary or price to bring him, right? So even Thomas Frank is contracted with Brentford. We have to actually pay them to get him to our club if we are going with Thomas Frank, right? He's not a free agent or something like that. So this whole situation makes it even more costly for us than it is financially viable for us. What do you think?
Yeah, just to piggyback off your point, I do appreciate the sentiment. I do understand what you're saying. I think also the quote that the manager put out saying that season three is always better than season two. I think also that speaks to the fact that the management hadn't already made the decision, that hadn't really, at least they've made the decision, but then they told him, or they hadn't made the decision that he was gonna go through the season. I think after saying that, I think he came out the next press conference and he said, sometimes on the third season they kill off the main character. So I think at that point,
Exactly that.
yeah, I think at that point they probably told him that before the Brighton game. Yeah, it is. You are right. You are absolutely right when you say everything you're saying. Your frustration, I think I do feel it to some extent. Whether that decision should have been made a lot earlier. But maybe also they were planning to sack him a lot earlier, but the trophy thing, and the celebration and everything that was going on kind of, if you go in the comment section of the announcement of the sacking of Ange Postecoglu right now, it's pure toxicity. It's insane. If you read the comment section right now, it's just it's very depressing. For me, the Thomas Frank situation, for me personally, if I look at the top three managers in terms of let's just look at the managers that did well last season, right? In terms of the PL. The first one, you have Areola from Bournemouth, obviously because he started off the season great, but didn't finish very well. He lost a lot of games towards the back end of the season. You have Thomas Frank, you have the Fulham manager, and then you also have the Crystal Palace manager. Out of all of those four managers, right? Of course, the club is leaning towards Thomas Frank because, of course, we've seen the footage of him, the way he's brought the Brentford side together. They're very much a family. The manager goes in the club. He's somewhat kind of like Postecoglu. He can bring the squad together. He can really have the guys buy into his ideas and really implement them. But in terms of the European pedigree, he does not have any European experience. Out of those four managers, only the Fulham manager and Glasner have European experience.
Yes.
For me, I definitely do believe that Glasner would have been a better appointment rather than Thomas Frank. Because Thomas Frank, I see us going backwards if we appoint Thomas Frank, regardless of the amount of money that we spend on him. But I believe that in terms of the coldness, in terms of confidence, the confidence that Glasner exuberates whenever he's talking about his players and his tactics as well, you feel like a manager that knows what he's doing. He's not lying to you. You're gonna see on the pitch, and it's gonna happen the way he says it. Pure example of that was he played Man City in the league, and he told Pep, "If you play like that against us in a cup FA
Mm.
Cup final, you're not gonna win."
Yes.
Exactly the same thing happened because he understands. He actually watches film. There's nothing better than a manager that actually watches film because he understands his opponent. One of the
Yep.
biggest critics of Ange Postecoglu was Ange Postecoglu does not even do tactics, does not even watch film. He just focuses on what he does, kind of disregards what the opponent is gonna do, which led to a lot of issues that we had this season.
Yeah. That's true.
Um, I don't know what you're gonna have to say about that, but for me, I feel like if we're pointing Thomas Frank, it would be very disappointing. If it's Glasner, then I'm shaking my head. It's probably Fulham, the Fulham manager, and also he's very intense as well, kind of like Conte. We was also what happened last time. We had a very
Marcus Silva.
combustible character in
Marcus.
the dressing room.
Mm.
Yeah, I really do. It's either Glasner or the Fulham manager. The rest, I just see it as a step backwards. I don't see us going
Mm.
forward with Glasner.
I just want to say that I totally agree with you.
Mm.
I was in love with Glasner when he was at Eintracht Frankfurt, when he made them win the the Europa League.
Mm.
There was
Yeah,
some
yeah.
amazing talent that came out of it. There was one player who was playing as a wing back in his system. He went to Juventus and he just vanished
Yeah.
because he made those players, those fragile players, look like they were ultimate players, in
Mm.
their elite form.
Yeah.
He had that potential. And
Mm.
even Omar Mamouche, I think, started kicking, started coming into the form when Glasner was there. There were
Mm.
many players who just thrived in his system.
Mm.
And I believe that Oliver Glasner would have been and should be an amazing appointment. If he comes, he's an upgrade, no doubt
Mm.
about that. For
Hundred
me,
percent.
yes,
100%.
because he has the pedigree of European trophies, whether
Mm.
it's and now he has pedigree of domestic trophy. How to win
Mm.
that? He in a proper sense, he is a tactician. He
Mm.
he is a football tactician who knows how to play with each of the football clubs that are playing against us. Right? If he
Yep.
comes.
Yep.
My concern here is, Kevin, that he won't be the manager who will be and the reason is very simple. The reason
Mm.
is very simple. First of all, Glasner is already in the Europa League now with Crystal Palace.
Mm.
And I think he may have the backing of the board. I don't know. Because they are in the Europa League for the first time. They have won the trophy after 40 years. They have won the major trophy for the first time, I guess. That's
Yeah.
why
First
I
time.
think, yeah, that's why I think he will have a lot of backing from Crystal Palace. And if he doesn't, I don't think coming to Spurs will help him get any other European trophy.
Mm.
Right now, any manager who comes in Tottenham is a puppet for Daniel Levy. I have
Mm.
seen that. Antonio Conte resisted against it. He got sacked. Jose Mourinho, resisted against it. He got sacked before even the final came. Nuno
Mm.
Espirito Santo was our third or fourth choice manager when he
Mm.
came. He didn't even have a say on what should be the ideal pick for his team. And now see Nuno Espirito Santo doing so well at Nottingham Forest. Why?
Mm.
Because he got the backing of the board. He got the backing of the board. He also got the players that he wanted.
Mm.
My concern is that if you are sacking a manager, that's okay. He has done bad. But I am more worried about, first of all, the civil war that is going to be going inside of our dressing room now. There will be many players who will be going against each other, pitting against each other, that no, this is wrong, no, this is right. And that will be a big, I think Prime Video should create all or nothing Tottenham Hotspur this particular season, because I want to see what is happening in that dressing room. This deserves a soap opera. I think keeping up with Kardashians will have a less IMDb rating than this particular season for our dressing room, in my opinion. And
Bribe,
secondly,
bribe.
I don't feel like we are serious about it. If we were
Mm.
serious about it, and there is no history for us to see that we were serious about appointing someone very good.
Hmm.
uh, I have Sushant also. Sushant bhai, आप अभी आ रहे हो? Are you coming right now or you want to? Yeah.
Yeah, Utkarsh, well, I don't mind joining in again. So I've just
Okay.
reached back home. So,
Okay.
uh, uh,
Join in again if you
yeah,
want.
see the issue over here is that the sacking of Ange Postecoglu just reflects one thing, that we just are not a serious club. We want to work according to the whims and fancies of Mr. Levy. Whatever he thinks is right for our club, we'll have to work according to that. Whoever, they see, they I do not know how much of your co-panelist remembers about this thing about the Indian corporate. One thing that definitely survives in India corporate is the fact that how good you are at bootlicking. Whatever, whoever the new manager comes in will have to lick Mr. Levy's boot 24/7, 365. Even if Mr. Levy says that, oh, my dear, my boot is already polished, your tongue will get black. The manager will have to say that, oh, sir, I do not mind getting it blacked, even more darker. I just want to stay at the helm of the club. I simply do not recognize this club. It's as simple as that. This is not what football stands for. This is just not what football stands for. You took the step to sack Donna Cullen. Great. You took the step to revamp your entire working team behind the football club. Okay, that's good. But what are you doing to improve the footballing aspect of this particular club? Do you want to count yourself into that list that has the names of Real Madrid, AC Milan, Liverpool, Barcelona? Or do you just want, or you just want to get satisfied by seeing yourself in top 4, top 5, top 6 of the English Premier League, so that you can have a a financial thing just flowing into your club?
Hmm.
At the end of the day, it's what football matters. The people, the fans that are following your club are looking at this particular club to win matches, to win glory. And that's definitely not what Mr. Levy's action represents right now.
Yes.
That just I wanted to say over here. It's over to you, Utkarsh. I'm really disappointed here.
Yep, yep. I can understand your frustration, Sushant bhai. I think even see, that's the whole point. I mean, we the way it has been treated, the way it has been planned out. I don't know if it was planned in such a way that people will get even more disheartened or disappointed by this. As you said, Kevin, that the comment section of the announcement of Ange Postecoglou is toxic, and uh, with all due respect, it should be toxic now because you have treated this in a very lackluster manner. I have no sympathy for how the management has turned it into a very sour affair for all of us. It feels like this particular tenure, this whole 2 years, has left a bad taste in our mouth rather than thinking about it in a way that, this was something that we should remember it for the rest of our lifetime. Because we won a trophy after 17 years, right? For some people who were not even born, they saw our club winning the trophy, right? In some way or the other. And
Hmm.
to end to end that season on such a bad taste, sacking the manager and fans going totally against what the Spurs management is doing, doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all.
No, it's bad PR. It's bad PR.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. I think if you're going to, if you're a PR agency and and Daniel Levy shows up and says, "Hey, I need you guys to start putting out good press on me and figure out how to change my image." To us Tottenham Hotspur fan, it's gonna take an insane amount of work. It's bad PR as far as Tottenham Hotspur is concerned, but if you look at the all the news, all the information that's been going on as far as the backroom stuff, whatever is happening at Tottenham Hotspur at the moment, um, to be frank, if Levy is the one making this decision, because we are just assuming at the moment that Levy is the one making the decision, but Levy is a chairman. There's a board of directors, board of members that actually sit there and make this decision, and Levy is the one that kind of comes out as the person that
Mhm.
sole responsible for it.
Mhm.
Um, of course, it's difficult. It's always difficult to blame everybody at the same time because we don't see these people. They're not answering to us. The person that
Mhm.
talked to us is Levy, so therefore Levy becomes the ultimate villain for us, and everybody the person that we blame for everything. But for me, it's about Joe Lewis and everybody that's on that board. If you're gonna
Mhm.
make changes for Tottenham Hotspur to become the club that this club deserves to be, um, you have to change everything inside the club. I'm sure
Yeah.
there are a few voices in there that people that generally want to win, but if you're gonna change, it's gonna change all the way inside the club, all the way inside the club, because there are people
Mhm.
that are stiff arming the fan club, the fan bases, the fan. You gotta if you analyze Tottenham Hotspur as a football club, right? As a football club, you gotta think about it in terms of let's just put things on the table, right? You've got a London club, right? A London club, prime location. You are in the Premier League. You have a new stadium. Okay, you're constantly active in the transfer market. So that
That
means that's a
stadium is 7 year old now. Seven, that's it. Stadium is seven
seven
year old.
7 years old now. So it's virtually new, right? One of the best stadiums in the world. All in terms of financially speaking and everything that's speaking, if you compare it to the other clubs that are successful around the league in the last 10 years
Mhm.
in Europe, you
Yeah.
can say Tottenham Hotspur should be performing better.
Yep.
Should be.
Agreed.
Because
Yes.
nothing makes sense. If you really think about it, if you really sit down and look at Tottenham Hotspur as a football club, you look at its history, you look at everything Tottenham Hotspur has currently,
Mhm.
you sit there and you think to yourself, what is holding this football club back? The club is in European football virtually, if you say out of the last 10 years, we probably missed out on 2 or 3 seasons of European football, right? We're always involved in European football. We're always playing in the PL, which is where the biggest money is. So what is holding the football club up? If you look at it, you can't just be sacking managers. The common denominator is always going to be, well, who's making these decisions? You know,
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, for me, we can blame Levy all we want because he's the person that comes out and tells us all the situation. And no, don't put me out there and say I'm a Levy defender. I'm not defending this guy because he should not be making footballing decision at all. He should not be anywhere near footballing decision. But I think we also need to just look at it from a bigger spectrum when it comes to the board members and everybody in the backroom stuff. People that
Mhm.
influence these decisions and do not help the club move forward, and that's sad to see. Even after everything that's happened in the last few weeks, after we won the European trophy, I didn't come home for 3 days because I was constantly outside with my friends. And when you come down to it, and then a day like this happens, and it brings you back down to earth, and it's like, man, I guess it was just a trip, right? I guess it was
Yeah.
just a trip.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree with you, Kevin,
I
on that.
just felt like sharing. See, I was hearing the co-panelist. I hope your name is Kevin, if I'm not
No, my
wrong.
name is Kevin. Don't worry.
Kevin, yeah. So, I was just listening to you, and I just this thing just crossed my mind that, like, given the fact that I've been following, international football and football in general for a very long time, so I particularly became a Tottenham fan after the 2020 season of All or Nothing.
Mm,
See, the thing is that the very fact that Tottenham Hotspur hired Mourinho, ठीक है,
mm,
Mourinho was considered to be a serial winner, right?
mm,
Now, the fact that a particular club hired a serial winner it,
Mm,
the all these kind of signals, they amount to one thing, that this particular club is gonna win something in this
mm,
season or the next season. Yeah.
mm,
Now, given this particular fact, my this particular manager got sacked before a final, which was, one of the most foolish things to have happened to this particular club. Many of the fans, they stayed, through thick and thin with this particular club, thinking
mm,
that, okay, if not this season, but maybe the next, or maybe the next, or maybe the next trophy, or
mm,
maybe the next competition will be ours.
mhm,
Now, if fans of a particular club stick to this very fact that this club is gonna make right footballing decisions, if they happen to sack a manager who has managed to win, a trophy, which has probably shifted the narrative of Spurs being the bottlers to
mhm.
Arsenal being the bottlers, of who have exactly shifted this particular narrative, that Spurs are not a club who are, not really serious about, things winning. Rather,
Mm,
it is Arsenal who's,
mm,
lighting bulbs, doing many things, whose fans are carrying those kind of ultra moments.
mm,
If a see, Kevin, I really, I appreciate your thoughts. I also, really second your thoughts on the fact that it's not Levy who decides, footballing decision. It may be Joe Louis or a board of directors that are taking the call.
mm,
But my particular thinking in this particular fact is that it has to be Mr. Levy, because see, Mr. Levy knows that he's the face of Tottenham Hotspur.
mhm,
A
mhm.
final
Yep.
say or a majority of say has
Mm,
to, land at Mr. Levy's pocket, that okay, you are the person, you also have a majority of say of what this particular club has to, into a particular direction.
mm,
What I personally feel right now is that Mr. Levy, he might be influenced by the board, he might be influenced by Paratisi, as the kind of rumors, that kind of news that we are thinking.
mm,
This particular decision did not definitely has to come at this particular moment. Even if you have problem with Mr. Postecoglu, you could have given him another, 4 to 5 months.
mm,
You could have easily, taken that much amount of time, and you could have decided, let's say in November or December, if I have to sack this particular manager or not. Because December would have been a right time, because see, January is obviously a, a window that is coming to improve the club.
mhm,
December if you would have taken this particular decision in December, it would have been beneficial for the club.
mm,
Right now, all of this makes a huge mockery of our club,
mhm,
demoralizes a lot of our players. If I have to name some, it can be Vicario, it can be Romero, VDV, it can be definitely Porro, because Porro came out in open, Brennan Johnson. So these are the kind of players that really hold this club right now.
mm.
And to demoralize these players going into a fresh season is what I think is definitely a foolish start. No matter who the manager comes in right now, I think Postecoglu should have been given at least 3 to 4 months into this in this new season. This is my thought.
Yeah,
Mm.
actually, just to piggyback off the dressing room comment that you just made, there was a rumor that was going around on Twitter. I don't know how true it was. It was saying Romero was saying if Ange stays, he stays. If Ange leaves, he goes
Mm.
to Atletico
Yeah.
Madrid or something like that. I don't know how many of you seen that. I saw that. I was like, I see it.
Mm.
Because I know Romeo is thunder. Is like there's possibility there might be some truth to it, but also at the same time it's Twitter, so it could be just somebody making something up. But I absolutely agree. This is gonna destroy the dressing room. I really
Yes.
hope Amazon gets in there with cameras because it's gonna be hilarious.
Just wanted to eat.
It's gonna be a joke of a season for sure. Next season is gonna be a joke for sure. No
Mm.
cap.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. See, the whole point is it's not being treated in a very professional way. That's the whole
Hmm.
point of it. And because someone who has made us emotional. I mean, there has been many managers. We all know there have been many managers, but this particular manager gave us something to cry for, and
Mhm.
that is a happy thing. I'm not
Mhm.
talking about when we were crying in disappointment, right? There have been numerous occasions that we have cried in disappointment, whether it's
Mhm.
2019 final, whether it's 2020 final of Carabao Cup. There have been numerous occasions when we have done that, but
Mhm.
to do to make us feel like we are at the world football map again, to make
Mm.
us feel like a winner,
Yeah.
that it has not even been provided by someone who calls themselves serial winner, whether it's Antonio Conte, whether it's Jose Mourinho.
Mm.
My whole concern is that if you're trying to be to become a big club, you need to understand what to do with it. You
Mm.
are putting a decision to sack a manager, but you don't have any replacement now in line. I have not seen any sources to confirm that this particular manager is lined up to be our next manager. I have
Mm.
seen many managers getting sacked, but I have seen Fabrizio Romano or big sources saying that this particular club is in advanced negotiation with this particular manager to be the next club manager. But we have
Mm.
not seen anything like that. It does
Mm.
mean that we don't have a specific target in our mind. We are
Yeah.
still shortlisting,
Yeah.
and you understand, if we are still shortlisting, I think we are 2 weeks away from appointing someone. That is
Yeah.
almost all that covers up almost half of the June. Then when are
Mm.
you going to give the signing? Because of Club World Cup, most of the clubs are doing their signing so early because they know
Mm.
that after a while those players won't be even on the market. They
Yeah.
will be sold.
Yeah.
So when are you planning to do it? It is bonkers to me that you think of sacking the manager in the June. It's not
Mm.
1st June, 6th June. 1 week has already passed out.
Yeah.
Now you will think of a manager to appoint. Then
Mm.
that manager will give his shortlist to you, and this will take the whole of June. You won't have any transfer targets coming before June. I don't see it, especially in our club where the things go very slowly. Especially these kind of process. I still remember our January transfer window this
Yeah.
year. We signed Kinski in the first week of January. I was like, okay, we are doing this business very fast. We are very spontaneous in that. But then we signed Kevin Denso at the very last week of January.
Yeah.
Matisse came at 31st January in the midnight. That
Yeah.
is how at the start of January window, one signing, at the very last, the second signing.
Mm.
The whole gap, nothing. We were screwed over in the league. We were screwed over in domestic competitions. At that point of time, only we lost to Aston Villa in the round of 16
Mm.
in the FA Cup when
Yeah.
our squad was injury ravaged. Then
Mm.
what are you guys doing? My concern is that even if a manager comes, the way you are treating this particular club for just scamming out money for those concerts, that
Mm.
is ridiculous. That is not something that I believe to be the right way to take a football club to to glory, basically, because you're not doing that. Sad day, another painful season loading in any case. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Really
I
sorry,
just
guys.
gonna.
I had to drop in between. Yeah, Kevin, please
No, it's
continue.
all right. It's all
Really
right. I just wanted to just to kind of just to piggyback off the point that you just made. By Tottenham Hotspur, very well we are interested FC, observing FC. For me, the most frustrating time to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan is during the transfer market, because Tottenham Hotspur is gonna drag its feet to its last moment to be able to make a signing. Right. Prime example of that you can, because the Kinski signing was made in emergency because all our goalkeeper were out. We only had a fourth goalkeeper who was actually in goal at the time, right? Kevin Danso, despite the fact that our back line was absolutely ravaged by injuries, we still took last minute to be able to sign, to make the signing.
Yep.
Mathieu Stel didn't want to come until Ange Postecoglu has to spend an hour on Zoom with him to be able to convince him to come, for him
Yep.
to score 3 goals in 6 months of a loan spell, right? Um, and now I have my own thoughts on Matthias Stel, but we'll move on from that right now. To be honest with you, Tottenham Hotspur is it's like I said. In order for you to be considered among the big boys, you have to act like a big boys. We
Yeah.
have the lowest wage bill out of the clubs that finish in the top 6 this season outside of Newcastle. And the only reason Newcastle is less than us is because Newcastle, though, they are not allowed to spend their own money. That's the only reason. If Newcastle were allowed to spend if even like 25% of the budget they have right now, it would be curtains for Tottenham Hotspur. We will not finish in the top 6 for a very foreseeable future. Right?
True.
If you just look at the league, because for me this season was everything you needed to know about about Tottenham Hotspur's future and also the future of the league. You either get right with your organization or get left behind. Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur were the two clubs that don't make the right decision consistently and always got away with it by finishing in the top 6 because of the gap in competition in terms of with other teams. Now all of those mid-pack teams have upgraded, gotten great managers, made sure that they signed the right players. Looked at teams like Brighton, the way they recruit their players and stuff, and those teams recruited better managers. And here, behold, 16th was Manchester United finished 15th because they won the last game of the season, and Tottenham finished 17th with the highest amount of losses without being relegated. So it shows that if you don't get your stuff right from early on, recruiting wise, yeah, it's gonna be an issue. And the only reason we finished 17th is because the teams that are coming into the Champions League, into the Premier League, are way off the park, are way off in terms of what do you call it, competition wise. The players are not up to par. The manager's tactics are not up to par, and it's causing them a lot of issues. And that's my take. To be honest, it's this season is going to be very, very tough. It's going to be very difficult to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan for a long while, especially given the fact that we're going to be in the UCL next season. It's going to be
It has
tough.
always been difficult for us to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
But at least we finished 6th
not
and
even a
5th.
single season, not even a single day has been, really something to be, to cherish about, because we
Yeah.
as a fan have stayed loyal with this club through thick and thin. We have seen the
Yeah, bro.
highs, we have seen the lows, we have seen,
Yeah.
Harry Kane leaving this particular club. We have seen, Sonny crying after winning a particular trophy. We've been this with this particular club. I just shared one pic that I went through over Twitter with the Utkarsh right now. The one thing that we as Spurs fan will gonna remember about this particular season was Tottenham Hotspur winning a trophy and the manager getting sacked. These two things will go hand in hand from now on. We will not be able to differentiate between the fact that Tottenham Hotspur did win a trophy. Whenever we'll think about that, a second instant memory that will strike our minds will be Ange getting sacked. And this
One,
thing, yeah.
there's a quote. There's a quote by I don't know. It's a quote by Conte, or it's just a meaning that one normal day at Tottenham. That's
Just one. That's all we asked for. That's all. I think
cannot have that.
one normal day, bro. Like, can you just think about it, right? So last week, despite nothing happening in football, but for some reason, Tottenham Hotspur always have drama going on. Somebody was talking about somebody on the board stepping down. Somebody was talking about an overtake and hostile also overtake. Is that what they call it? When somebody's trying to create drama in the boardroom so that they can bring in a new manager. Some people were talking about Levy stepping down. Everything was happening all at once, and then you on top of that you had the Ange sacking rumors, and also the Thomas Frank appointment rumors that were going around and stuff like that, and people were sharing their thoughts. So it's like, despite nothing happening in football in general, except from transfer market stuff, Tottenham Hotspur always find a way to create the most insane situation, like out of nothing, for no reason at all. No reason. Nobody, it's like there's nothing happening. All of a sudden, people are talking about, oh, this person is quitting their job because they're getting ready to for the takeover and stuff like that. It's like one day, man. One day of Tottenham Hotspur is all we ask.
we as Spurs fans say, "Come on, you Spurs, COYS." You know what Levy says? "Come on, you money, COYN." That's all what he cares
But
about.
that's what I was discussing, Sujan bhai, because this particular sacking is costly. You're going to get a manager who is already contracted with a different club. This will also cost you money. I don't even understand how financially viable it is. This is
But he's
just
not gonna
bonkers.
demand signings of his choice in the very first season. Or even if he demands, he'll not gonna get those signings. Probably
Yeah,
a
but like
third or a fourth
just
backup player.
a quick add up though. But like, how much do you guys think Tottenham will pay for like a manager like Thomas Frank in terms of estimation? How much do you guys think Tottenham is gonna pay? Do you think it's gonna
See
exceed
the
10
men
million or 15 million pounds for like a
what
manager?
I you know what I see I know pretty less about football than Utkarsh. He's a
Mm,
mastermind behind it.
mm,
I'm gonna honestly admit about it. See, Utkarsh is over here. He
True,
one thing
Utkarsh.
that I'm
I'm
gonna
high on
say about
football.
Utkarsh, he's also Utkarsh. But one thing that I'm gonna say about him is that he used to be an Ange lover, then
mm.
Ange hater, then Ange lover, then Ange hater again, and then probably going with the flow of this particular the
Uh,
WhatsApp group that we have. He turned out to be a
Sushant,
neutral. See, I do
Sushant.
not have anything against you, but the only thing that I'm gonna say over here is the
Mm,
kind of mentality that the board must might be having towards Frank is that he handled Brentford with a very less transfer amount or
mm,
those kind of things. So the kind of expectation if Thomas Frank eventually comes into our club is that he's gonna replicate the same thing with Spurs. Probably he's gonna get 20, 30, or even 40 million more than what he used to get at Brentford, and he might be able to replicate that thing again with Spurs. But given the fact that it'll be his very first season, he's not gonna get the first choice of players that he might be having in his mind. And again, even if he has a decent run at this particular club, he's gonna end up seventh or eighth at max. So right from playing into the Champions League, next season again we'll gonna be competing in Conference League at max. That's what I think
yeah.
about this right now.
Yeah, so just to piggyback off of what you just said, but didn't we have that with Poch though? Didn't we have that with Poch? We had that with Poch though, innit? Like Poch was the manager. Like the transfer money that Poch was spending was less than the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Like somewhere in around the top 10. Even Jamie Carragher had like a whole Monday night presentation about it, talking about like you cannot sustain this. This is not sustainable. And then we ended up sacking him at after making the Champions League final. And yes, you are absolutely right. He might not get the exact player that we want. But earlier, before you came on, I was just saying that sacking the manager, Ange Postecoglu now, footballing wise, if you just remove the emotions out of the decision, it kind of makes sense because it also gives him kind of some time. We know Tottenham is not going to sign every player you want. At least they're going to get you at least 2 or 3 players, max, you know? At least those choices are going to be the managers that is coming in and he's starting the season with the players that he wants to sign.
Hmm.
I'm at least being positive about that because I believe that's probably what's going to give the manager at least some sort of leeway. But they have to sign the manager though as soon as possible. Like we spoke earlier, Tottenham Hotspur don't make this decision very quickly. So they might drag their feet a little bit, make that decision a few days later. And like you were saying earlier, it's the 6th of June. This decision should have been made on the 1st. As soon as the transfer market open, manager sacked, get the manager in, start
Hmm.
signing players. Preseason is in a few months, few days, few weeks. So you know,
Yeah. Just
yeah. So I asked a question earlier. How much do you guys think Tottenham is gonna pay for Thomas Frank if we get a manager in? You think it's gonna
uh,
exceed 10 million pounds for a new
depend
manager?
depends on how much we are desperate for Thomas Frank, I guess. But yeah, actually, Brentford will try to con us with that. But I'll give Utkarsh the mic now because he's here and he's been waiting for a long time. But before that, I just want to say, Sushant bhai, I don't know if you criticized me right now or praised me with my comment, because that just summed me up in a very good way. But I thought that you were roasting me. So thank you so much, bhai. Utkarsh, over to you. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Hi, Utkarsh. So, hey everyone. Yeah, I'm just feeling neutral. I mean, I am not on the bandwagon of Ange in, and I'm happy to see someone here sailing on the same boat as me. I mean, high five, man.
Hey man,
Uh,
I
so,
was completely agile since the first season. I was agile a long time ago, bro. Since the first season.
no, but right now the I mean situation on the group is such that everyone is so angry. Right now, I am also kind of angry because it was an emotional thing. We
Yeah.
won something, and I have been following Spurs only for like 6 7 years. I know. I mean, they are older fans than me,
Mm.
who have seen other longer like term managers. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one thing that comes to my mind is if we didn't sack Ainge right now, he would have definitely gone in mid-season when we were like 12, 13th, some position. And yeah, footballing memory is such. I mean, think about we won the final. We were so happy. We were all elated. And then we got a beating against Brighton in the last match. And
Mm.
how were we feeling then, just after the match? It was so shit. I mean, we are a like European winner team, and this is how we are getting thrashed. We know all the situation around it. I mean, players were drunk. We didn't even expect them to win, but still we felt sad. So, I
Yeah.
mean, for me, sacking Ainge is the right decision also because I mean the transfer money. I mean Levy is that kind of a person who won't. I mean no one likes Levy. That's honestly the truth.
Apart from
But
his family, I even question even if
yeah,
it's his own son likes it.
I don't know if they are a Spurs supporter, they won't be following him too, like loving him too.
I I just wanted to add something that Levy has played a very good master stroke, and just let me know that if you guys also think in that way, because that just came into my mind. Few
Mm.
days ago, there was a report suggesting that Tottenham Hotspur will have to sell to buy players. That's what I heard, and it was very popular.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that there
yeah,
was some
That's
reports
what I
coming
heard
on
too. Yeah, right.
yeah, yeah.
that
That's
Tottenham will
true.
have to sell to buy players, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Now,
because
this
there are
particular,
some outstanding payments actually for the previous
hmm,
transfers. That's the
Right,
reason I think they are
right.
giving.
yep,
Okay.
yep. Now see the situation, and then
Mm.
how I'm saying Daniel Levy has played a master stroke,
Mm.
because after sacking Ange Postecoglu, there will be several players who would like to be sold out, and there
Mm.
are many
Man, I
suitors.
really pray Romero doesn't go. I really love Romero.
Forget about, he is the
Bro,
first one
forget
who is
Bro,
about
going.
him. He's gone, bro.
bro.
He's
He's
the
gone.
first one who is going to go.
It's
That's
not
what
He
I'm
is
about how
saying.
gone,
much we
bro.
love
He's
our
gone.
vice captain.
At least don't
Bro,
say
I
this,
don't think
man.
he's even gonna come back to Tottenham Hotspur, bro. He's just gonna stay
Right.
in Argentina until he goes back. He goes to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
I
I
tell you,
see,
don't
hundred
even
percent.
think if he's gonna, ever post a picture of him winning a Europa League, because if he, goes to Real Madrid or
World Cup winning
that kind
trophy.
of
Yeah,
club, he'll end up winning 2 or 3 Champions League till he
yeah.
retires.
Soon.
He's not even gonna give a fuck about winning Europa League.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad for
But
me generally.
That's let me just complete my statement and I'll give the stage to you all. So the whole point is, see, I the way Ange as a tactician played, I didn't like him. The
hmm
emotional, togetherness that he brought after winning the Europa League trophy, I was very into it, right?
mm,
But there was one fear always in my mind, that if Ange goes, Romero goes. If
mm,
Ange goes, Pedro Porro goes. And
hmm
that was the fear that made me think that it's better to keep Ange right now, so that even if he doesn't perform well, the player sees to it and says, okay, he doesn't manage us well in the league, he should depart. And then their mindset may have changed. But right now, everyone is willing to go out of this club. That's what I think. And that was a Daniel Levy masterstroke because he wanted that option that he needed to sell to buy players, and he has done exactly that. The player with wages will be now as low as it could have been because some big players like Cristiano Romero, Pedro Porro, they will be out of our club soon.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
I think a Christian Romero. I mean, Tottenham Hotspur, you're never gonna have an issue of selling players because if a bigger, you always Tottenham Hotspur is kind of that middle club where players go to, they do well there, and then they move on to a bigger club. You're never gonna have an issue selling players to Tottenham Hotspur. When the issue is, especially when a club wants out, it's a story. We all know a story that's happened a very, very often. Tottenham Hotspur, with Modric, Bale, Kane, all these players, they came to Tottenham Hotspur, they had their success and then they moved on. You're never gonna have an issue selling a player from Tottenham Hotspur. The
Yeah.
issue is always dealing with Levy. The problem with that, for me, when you say that, it's like when I look at PSR, of course, people are gonna say Tottenham will need to sell because of the debt and the stadiums and all that things that's going on in the background. But for me, footballing wise, apart from like when you sell a player like Romero, for example, or Porro, for example, who are the two key parts of our Europa League winning title? When you replace them with other players, of course, other players might step up. But who do you have in the squad right now that might step up to fill
Nobody.
in those boots? Because even if you say Son is still a leader, Son is probably gonna play one more season with Tottenham Hotspur, and he's probably disappearing after that. Go somewhere else.
I
You
think he
know.
should. He should.
To be
He should.
honest, to be honest,
And also, I think, I mean,
if Tottenham Hotspur have to sell players,
the
it's gonna
only
be a travesty. And if this is a masterstroke from Levy, it's a masterstroke in exploding the dressing room.
Yeah, that's true. Utkarsh, you were
See,
saying something.
I just want to, add upon your thing, Kevin. I'll just take few more seconds before I hand over this platform to both the Utkarsh present over in the chat. So you just mentioned that why are you laughing, man? Come on.
what do
So
you say?
Why it is not extempore? I was feeling I am in school. You are providing me this page.
I'm
Yeah,
really
go
sorry
on.
for that. See, Kevin, you told me, you told over here that there will be a lot of players that will be looking to, exit. So, where exactly are we now? Are we looking to replace those players, or are we looking to increase our depth because we'll be, facing premier teams in Champions League? We'll be, competing in Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Super Cup.
Yeah.
Five fucking competitions that we'll be competing in right now with a new manager, and
Mm.
we even we do not know what kind of players gonna are going to leave our club. Will we ever be able to find their replacements? Are we ever gonna look at the depth at those particular positions? Because this is also a very a very likely possibility that whoever next comes in to become the manager of our club, even if he sucks, who knows, he gets sacked after one season. Then
He's gonna
exactly
get
where
sacked.
again are we?
3 months, bro. 3 months.
Right.
December.
Where
God.
are we with respect to our club in June, or let's say September of 2025, January
Mm.
of 2026, then again September of 2026? Are we looking at three different managers? Do we need to call back Mason from West Brom? Where exactly are we?
Bro, that's a good question. Bro, answer the question. It's your turn to speak. Answer the question.
I was thinking, I mean, my hopeful head still thinks that not all the players are going. There are a lot of things. I mean, uh, Daniel Levy stacking Ange isn't the worst decision. The thing is, he can still keep players if he can come up front and give them the hikes they deserve. Like Van de Ven, I mean, look at his wages.
Mm.
He deserves at least to be level with what Werner. I mean, Werner is earning so high.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there are
he's
these
going
things.
back. Werner is going back though, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
there like
Werner is going back,
a
but his
yeah,
wages are pretty high. So I think there are
yeah.
many players who are on pretty low wages just because of their ages, but then
Mm.
they have performed well. I think I mean, this is a time when actually things should be amped up. We have won the Europa League. We are in the Champions League, all the competitions. The only thing, the only part of the entire team that has been stable, although because of injuries we haven't seen them much, is the back line. I mean, Vicario is a little inconsistent, but if you think about the main back line, they are the most solid part of the team. Udogi, Van de Ven, Romero, Poro. If any of these players go, then again we are in shackles. There's nothing like, I mean, it's again a rebuild. So if Levy, I don't, I sometimes think even if he is a great businessman, because I mean, good businessmen think long term. He just thinks
Yeah,
about mid table. Is he a
yeah.
I mean, you can get better players and then
Mm,
reach more. I mean, earn more from the Champions League,
mm.
go deeper in the Champions League. But he just thinks about, okay, save on some wages. Sign cheap players like third, fourth quality. So he has to take quick actions, get more players, raise wages for the existing players. I mean, and sign a manager who can promise things. That's all he has to do.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
a good
hope it
assessment.
is
That's a
great.
very good assessment. I really like what you said there. But for me, the thing will always be Levy is always gonna do what Levy does. He's never gonna go out there and get you a shaker, for example, right? He's probably gonna go out there. If there is a list of shakery, um, uh, the Shekri and other two striker, for example. So let's just Shekri, Eketike, and probably the third one is probably Salomon from like West Brom or something like that. Most likely, he's gonna get the third option because it's gonna be the cheapest one, you know.
Fourth
Uh,
option, not even the third one. Just to get the fourth.
but to be honest, when it comes to Levy, for me, that's the difficult part because that's why I don't get riled up in the conversation of like transfer market decision and stuff like that. As a fan, of course, I can look at players that can improve our squad. I don't really get boiled down in the conversation because it's not something that it makes my blood boil hot because I understand that the manager or Levy is always going to make the wrong decision when it comes to signing these players. You know, the players that he's
Yeah,
going to sign is not going to be the players that we need right now in order to win, to get us over the line, to be able to win either the Premier League or other places. Ange Postecoglu has performed a miracle here by winning this Europa League. Of course, it's the circumstances of the winning the thing with Champions League teams not dropping down has helped us massively. But still, he has performed a miracle here. When the Europa League season started, we were ravaged with injuries. We were basically playing kids out there. There were times where our average squad age in the Europa League was around 21. It was crazy at the beginning of the Europa League campaign, and then at the back end when the senior players started coming in, and then we kind of played better as we moved forward. To be honest, he has performed a miracle, but the board is consistently going to let the managers down. For me, I always say if a manager wants to sign for Tottenham Hotspur, you have to put in your contract. You say, listen, either I'm going to be able to get the players that I want, or if you don't, I walk out immediately. To be honest with you, that's what I think. Because when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur, the board, when it comes to footballistic decision, they consistently get it wrong every single time. I've been a fan of this football club since 2011, and I've seen transfer market after transfer market. I'll give you a simple example just to close off my argument. Desire Doué, the player that just played, scored 2 goals in the Champions League final. We were supposed to get him, and we went out and got Odoba. And look at the massive gap between those two players. We were supposed to get him, Desire Doué. We were supposed to get him. We didn't get him. We went out and said, okay, Premier League French, okay. Plays on the wing, okay. Premier League proven, no. Go and get the one from Burnley. We got Odoba, 1 goal the entire season. Is he one or two? He got like 2-3 goals this season. He got one in the Europa League and then got one against West Ham. When the player that we were supposed to sign, the prime example of that, he's scoring goals and doing wonders for his team. You see what I mean? So Tottenham Hotspur the board is always gonna let down the managers regardless who comes in. And that's ultimately what the issue is. And that's what needs to be done. And as fans, just gonna sit here and watch until Levy leaves, you know?
Yeah. I
See,
mean,
it's
Unfortunately.
just
just to
it's
add
just
to, I
another,
have a small point
utopian
to,
dream of
Wait,
yeah.
both
Go ahead,
guys, wait.
Utkarsh, go ahead.
yeah,
Aap
yeah,
karo.
just
Utkarsh,
a
go ahead.
small point to add on that. I don't understand the strategy behind it. So we don't sign the first choice player, second choice, third choice. We sign some random player when, I mean, the supporters have to create compilation to search these players again. Now the thing is, when these players are actually developed in 2 3 years span, then then Levy breaks all the scenarios, helping them to actually establish a great team, and then a new rebuild starts. I don't understand this. If you are signing players for the future, when the future arrives, do something for that. You don't do anything when the future comes. When the future comes, you go back in the past and fire. I mean, uh, create all the bullshit scenarios, and then you have to, recreate something. So either sign players who are going to win now, or sign players for the future, but then help them in the future. Levy is taking all the bad decisions, as you said, and it's the story. I mean, we have to live through till he leaves somehow.
Sushant bhai.
All that I wanted to say was that it's just, a utopian dream of thinking that Levy and Tottenham board is going to actually support a manager. Because
Mm,
if, Kevin, going by
utopian
your
dream.
argument, if a manager comes in saying that
Mm,
Levy, Mr. Levy, I want these players into my club to be able to compete in those kind of competitions, then in every 6 months we're gonna replace this manager with another one. Then coming January window, we are not looking after players, we're looking after managers. Who's gonna come into our club by then? See, it really doesn't matter, right now, because the whole point of the rebuild is to give a particular manager some, at least some decent amount of time at the club. See, this, many people in our Delhi Spurs group, they even argue this fact that we do not deserve to finish at 17th. Yes, I absolutely agree with them. We do not deserve to finish at 17th. But then what exactly was in our hands? Did we have the kind of depth to cover the players who got injured? Did because we at you also rightly said that during the start of Europa League, and even during the group stages, we were playing kids. I still remember, I do not know the club. It was a yellow jersey wearing club. We scored
yeah.
three goals against that, of which
Hmm.
Mikey Moore was one of them. Then
Yeah.
Ajay was one
Lovely
of
day that
them,
one was.
right? So that's exactly the where the problem lies with our club. And even considering the fact that 2 to 3 players might be leaving again, that single point comes in again. Are we going to replace those 3 players? Even one of our viewers, Surya, rightly stated that it's not about players, it's about the contracts that they have signed with the club. Now let's suppose if clubs like Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, or PSG, or those kind of AC Milan, Inter Milan, if those kind of clubs come in for our players, now are we gonna sell them? Do we replace them in the same window? Also, we find a backup to those players in the same window, or are we gonna extend the backup thing to the January window, wherein again we are looking at a random player who's gonna fill in a random position, and again not providing our depth, the kind of depth that we require? Is it gonna happen again? That's the entire fuss that it's all about. See, Thomas Frank, Marco Silva, these two are the managers that are really popping up right now. These two managers are decent managers. They have proven their mettle with Brentford and Fulham. But are they gonna get the players that they really need? Are we gonna back them in January window as well? What's gonna happen with them in the month of February and March, if our first team players gonna get injured again, which is very much a possibility? What's exactly gonna happen? We do not know anything about it. Scottman, as the recent reports say, Scottman has got sacked. Donna Cullen has got sacked, and Postecoglu has got sacked. Maybe we are gonna look at a complete overhaul in our medical team as well. So where exactly are we as a club? Did Man United achieve more after, getting defeated in the final? Did Tottenham Hotspur, are we in a better position than our rivals, our traditional top six rivals, Man United? Where exactly are we? That's the entire, the sticky point that's gonna be in every Tottenham Hotspur fan right now.
Yeah, yeah. I guess. Yeah, it's been a very frustrating evening for us. I think Kevin, you are in India or somewhere else?
No, I'm in Montreal, Canada right now, bro.
Okay,
So
depressing morning for you.
no, to be honest, this is like the second saddest day in Tottenham Hotspur history that I've experienced. The first one was the day Poch got sacked. I genuinely felt I do remember that day feeling depressed for hours after Poch got sacked. And today also this, despite the fact that I am for the manager getting sacked, his personality really had a big impact on me as a person. You know, Ange was the only manager, by the way, guys, that that's ever stuck up for the club.
Yeah,
I've seen Villas Boas come and go. I've seen Sherwood come and go. I've seen Poch. Even Poch never really defended the club the way Ange did. And I think that's what we're gonna miss the most as Tottenham Hotspur fan base. You know, somebody that's out there representing us, the fans. What we want to say, to actually see somebody as a manager say that in these press conferences, is what I'm gonna miss the most about Ange Postecoglu. And yeah, it's definitely a sad day. The man has given me one of the happiest days of my entire life. Um, Definitely never gonna forget him. And Tottenham Hotspur is a football club. You know, virtually a lot of managers that manage Tottenham Hotspur, a lot of players that come through Tottenham Hotspur remain fans over time because they just love whatever the club stands for. And I just feel like right now it's sad, it's depressing. But
yeah.
yeah,
Frustrating evening for us and depressing mornings for you. I
mm,
totally agree with that. And I'm sorry. So it's just that we have to take this. It's a hard pill to swallow, but we'll have to take it. There is no other option other than that. We can just hope. And I know doing that right now, because it is so recent. It has been only 1 or 2 hours since we have heard that news. It's very
mm,
difficult. So that's all we can do. We can just process it out and just let the things flow as it should.
yeah,
Right now,
yeah,
there's no point. We can discuss the managerial selections on who can be the next one, but I don't think we should. It won't help us really right now doing those
It's
discussions.
immaterial right now. It's exactly
Yeah,
immaterial right now.
totally immaterial to do it right away. Obviously, after a few days when we have our heads clear, because right now I can't think clear, right? Because my heart
same. My brain is so stuck right now.
my heart says that it's a very bad decision. I just want to cut someone's I shouldn't say that on the live stream, but yeah, I'm so angry right now. I'm so violent. But uh, my mind says that maybe it was at some point of time it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for me at all right now, because I'm not thinking from my mind, I'm thinking from my heart. And because this club, I have given my heart to this club because I'm emotionally attached to this club.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah,
But I
You
would
facts.
know
just
what my Man United friend is saying right now, that you
Mm,
should probably, stop supporting Spurs or come to United, because we're gonna be a big thing
yeah.
next season.
As if that's doable, bro. You can't just transfer football girl like that.
I cannot do that. Either I'll stop watching football at all, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna suffer with this club till the last breath that I take in this planet.
yeah. I think at
Uh,
least we have each other to go through that suffering.
ex-
But
That's what being a boomer fan is, you know. That's what this discussion is. This is therapy, bro. This is therapy because this it was gonna be a long day, regardless of regardless of when the news hit. When I got the notification, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a bad day today. And you know,
Yeah.
hey, it is what it is. I look forward to more streams though. Hopefully we can do more. So at least there is that. So
Definitely. I will be doing live stream for Spurs because I think
Just one last
we
thing.
deserve a platform. Yeah.
I'm just gonna take Surya's comment. So he says that keep emotions aside. You don't pour 200 million money on manager. You're not convinced, bro. We're not gonna spend even 100 million on manager. We are gonna,
bro, we're not even gonna hit
point right now.
100 exactly.
Just forget about 200 million, bro. Even if we, spend
Bro, we're not even gonna
that's
hit
gonna be a different
50.
thing.
Bro, we're not even gonna hit 50. Like like 50 could be like if we hit 100 and it's like crazy high. That's like insane number, right? We're like it's insane. We're not even gonna hit 100. So yeah, man. Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate the conversation.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much, Sushant.
Thank you for having me on. Future conversations, just let me know. I'll be able to join in and have the convo.
It was great having conversation with fellow Spurs supporters from
100%, man. 100%.
It was great. I think we all are in this together, and we are going to listen to it more. I'll just end the stream now because I think we have discussed what we had to discuss. For the managerial discussion, we can do that anytime later because I want everyone to process it right now. It's very recent. Even I want to process. I just want to go and get my head clear off. That's what you guys are going to do too. I am sure. So
100%.
you have a great day, guys, and to all of those who are watching live, thank you so much for joining. I think it was a great show. Thank you so much, and we will be back again. So in this particular scene, I'll just end the stream. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much, Sushant.
Thanks, Utrecht.
Thank you for having me, mate. I appreciate you guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye-bye.